This is how the cost of living is in Australia. $24 for a 30 pack. Get $8 for a Nutrigrain. Go yourself. $11.50 for sausages. Mother. $7.50 for a few slices of bread.
Wham bam, thank you ma'am. That is what the government says after they go halvesies with us, right? Here in Australia and Canada. Well, I'm in Canada. Today we're going to be looking at the struggles of your average Canadian as well as your average Australian.
The average wage earner in Australia pays 35% tax. So from $100, 35% taken off. So you got $65. You go and buy petrol. 55 cents a litre is government excise for the petrol. Not to mention all the other taxes that go with purchasing food, clothing and other items. Everything's taxed to the shit. And people are really struggling to get by. It's getting harder and harder as the taxes slowly creep up. But check this out. You got ExxonMobil, $15 billion. Qantas, the Australian airline, $9 billion. Shell, $9 billion. Santos, $4.7 billion. AGL, Australia's largest CO2 emitter, $15 billion. Singtel, Singapore Telecom, which is the head of Optus, $8 billion. No tax whatsoever, and yet they operate in Australia. 1 out of every 3 major multinational companies in Australia operates tax-free. And it's for people like me and you that pay the fucking taxes. The big corporations get a good pat on the back and a golden handshake. And the Reserve Bank of Australia has said that the normal person's purchasing power is going downhill and it won't reach levels of the year 2000 until 2038. Now tell me that's fair, yeah? What a crock of shit, and yet our taxes are going up more. Drop your comments. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, meanwhile here in Canada, we're like, why don't you go ahead and hold my beer, eh, buddy? And you would think like with such high taxes, the government, they will have enough, right? At least for the less fortunate. Meanwhile, we have tent cities running wild in even Australia and in Canada. Yeah, just look at that. Look at that. I mean, to be fair, these are really nice tents, but still, in a place like Australia, first world country, this should never be a thing. Never be a thing, right? And sadly, this isn't just in Australia, guys. This isn't just in Australia. Here in Canada, it's even prevalent, and I believe we even have higher taxes, right? But I might be wrong. But I think we pay way higher taxes in Canada than in Australia. But all my Aussies down in the comments below, let me know. Maybe I'm wrong, right? What do I know? I've never lived in Australia before, but here it sure feels like we're being squeezed dry. That much I know. And it's no better here. Like the standard of living in Canada, I don't think it's any better than in Australia.
Canada does not help people with ambition and drive in this country. I'll tell you why. The reason why I'm saying this is because over a few years ago, when I was working minimum wage, I would always get money back whenever I filed my tax return. I would always get somewhere between $800 to maybe $1,000. Fast forward today, I'm making way above of what the average Canadians are making. Now I'm paying at least 40 to 50% on whatever I'm making today. And on top of that, whenever I file my tax return, I'm getting letters from CRA stating I owe another $5,000. I have a friend of mine who owned a small business. He owed $50,000 in taxes. So whenever someone start a business in Canada and they start to grow, I see why they want to move to the States. I see the reason why. Because there's no such thing as safe haven for people like us who have the drive, who have the entrepreneurship mindset, people who has ambition, people who want to leave some kind of generation wealth. Like people like that, they are not protected. And let's say you're someone with a goal. It's going to take a bigger toll on you because what's going to happen is you get to that stage in life where you're making the money you want to make and you're looking at your goal. You was like, I'm so close. You're like, I'm so close to the finish line. But guess what? Now you have to pay more money to the government. You have to pay your student loan, you have to pay your taxes, you gotta pay everything. So you're looking at the finish line, but you can't reach it. So now you have to work another 10 or 15 or 20 years to get to that stage. It's hard.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. And he forgot to say, right, in addition to your 40 to 50%, he also forgot, like, whenever you buy something, like, that's also taxed. He also forgot about property taxes, forgot about school taxes, forgot about, like, the carbon taxes, forgot about, like, the capital gains taxes. Like, there's so many different taxes in Canada. I don't know if I'm sure it's the same thing in Australia, because these Western countries, they all follow the same models, right? So I'm sure that it's the same thing. But I'm really glad that I'm not the only one who feels this way. In one of my older videos, I've actually mentioned how it feels like Canada, they punish hard work, right? Meanwhile, with the increased cost of living, we're also facing reduced standard of living in Canada, as you will see here. Our tent cities, like the other day I was in Montreal, downtown Montreal, and it was so sad to see literal tent cities. A couple years ago, I couldn't see them in such a public area in Montreal. Beautiful, beautiful Montreal is packed now with tent cities. Meanwhile, expenses are going higher and higher. And it just begs the question, where is all that money going to, and what is all that money being used to do? I would rather that our tax dollars at least goes towards, like, reducing homelessness, right? It's an eyesore a lot of the time. And in a country like Canada, we really shouldn't be having homeless people. It is not habitable outside in the winters.
In the heart of Toronto, hidden from view, homeless camps stand as a testament to human suffering. Amidst the urban landscape, makeshift tents house those who endure unimaginable hardships, hunger, cold, and despair. Their silent cries for help echo in the shadows of skyscrapers, pleading for compassion and understanding. It's time to open our hearts and minds, to extend a helping hand to those who have been forgotten. Let us stand united in our commitment to change, to build a future where no one is left behind.
Yeah, and before anybody comes down in the comments and starts saying, oh, these people, they're probably hooked on drugs or whatever, right? Just remember that most of us were one paycheck away from being where some of these people are, right? So let's not act like as if we're on a high horse or we're better than anybody. We really need to band together and hold our elected officials accountable. It should be absolutely unacceptable that our peers, our fellow citizens, are homeless while we're paying so much into their coffers, right? They should be coughing out some of that money and ensuring that everybody is properly housed. It should not be the job of a private landlord to house homeless people. It should absolutely be for the government. Nobody should be homeless with all the money that we pay. In my opinion, in taxes, nobody should be homeless. With all the wealth and riches that these first world countries, Canada, Australia has, there should absolutely be no homelessness. And it makes you wonder, right, during COVID, right, all about the stimulus checks and everything, where did all that money come from? It's funny how, like, money seems to just come out of I don't know, they probably just print it. And then when we have, like, people literally freezing to death, then they can't do the same thing to help them. So make it make sense, guys, because it's not making any sense to me whatsoever. But y'all let me know down in the comments below, my Aussies, my Canadians, how are y'all faring in these really tense environments? How are you faring? Let me know down in the comments below. I really want to know how you're feeling, especially those in Australia, because I'm already in Canada and I know how it is here. We are really getting it really, really hot here. And coming from Nigeria, which is like a legit third world country where we don't really pay taxes, I am the first person to tell you, hey, take my tax dollars. What I'm asking the question about is, can we at least hold you accountable for what you're doing with our tax dollars? Because I'm all for take my tax dollars, absolutely take it, but put it to good use and make it so that we are living in a better country, because that is what the social construct is. And right now, it just doesn't seem like we're getting our money's worth. But y'all let me know down in the comments below, do you think you're getting your money's worth? I'm really curious to hear what you have to say about this one. Smash that like, smash that subscribe, and until next time, peace.